Hey, welcome to For the People podcast. I'm your host, Vision X. And as always, we are joined by our permanent two co hosts, our history teacher herself, Miss Maya, and the queen of all judges, Miss Nikki.
Yay.
And, by popular demand, since he had so many comments and so much people just talking mess about him, we had to invite Samson McCormick back.
They'll be all right.
Those comment sections was like, oh, they was on. I was like, y'all was really upset. But this is the problem. This is why I think you was one of my favorite co-hosts out of all the co-hosts we had, because I said he's not going to sit here and let just black people get away with stuff too. Like if you did something wrong, he's going to say something as well. And the people want you to agree with them all the time, just to agree. I'm like, you can't. That's not how the world works.
No,
we don't operate like that.
And people
I
who
like
and people
it. You
and
were
people who want you to agree with them all the time. Those are people who don't take baths, so they'll be fine.
I like it. I like you when you come on too, because like you said, you're the other side. It's not that you disagree with everything that we say. You just have a different approach and a different take. I think sometimes we're saying the same thing. It just in a different way or from a different approach. So I like it because it's like, you challenge me and I may not have thought about it in a way. Even if I don't change how I feel, I can still see it from your perspective. And I know you're an intelligent and a funny person, and you're not, and it's a breath of fresh air. You're not a red pill nigga on here just like saying some shit to be ignorant.
Yeah.
You're adding, to the conversation. And some people may not agree with it, but we don't all we can agree to disagree and do it in a
Mm-hmm.
way that's like respectful. And you didn't, like I said, with me, you didn't call me stupid, you didn't think less of me as a black woman. We just disagreed, but you still brought a good energy to it. So I personally, like, I love it when you come on, because it's like it's a challenge, like, to me. And I like that. So you got a permanent home here, with us.
That
Oh,
was
thank you.
such an Oprah moment. Oh my God.
Yes, listen. I mean, I could
Audience,
be, I could be,
audience.
I could be a sappy bitch sometimes too. Okay, I love my niggas. All right, what can I say?
All right. Well, hey, you know what? Thanks for showing them love, Nikki. Thanks for showing them love. And we are about to start into our first video. So we are going to take a look at this.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't want to live in the United States of America if it's white. Once it becomes majority non-white, it's gonna be a much different country. It's gonna be a much different country. Well, that's just a fact. If you just look at voting statistics, how ethnicities other than white vote, this country would be totally different.
Black conservatives like the Hodge twins are literally walking oxymorons, heavy on the moron part. And at this point, I am thoroughly convinced that they all suffer from like Stockholm syndrome, because it's the only reasonable explanation that I have for like a Black person who lives in a society that further perpetuates anti-Blackness and racism, taking on the talking points of the oppressor group to appease them. And if you weren't familiar with these two fools prior to this video, consider yourself to be lucky. They're two prominent, high yellow, far right wing, conservative content creators on YouTube. And if you close your eyes and listen to their voices, they sound like two like 70-year-old creepy men. They maneuver in similar spaces to like Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, a Black conservative perspective. And what I find to be hysterical is that following this video, they asked on Twitter for admittance into this white only town that's being constructed in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, and they were denied. They gonna talk about something. I know your community is whites only, but could you make exceptions for us two negros? We're not even full sub-Saharan. We're over 40% white. And the man responded, God bless the Hodge twins, but no. Them thinking that being mixed race made them any less Black in the eyes of a white supremacist is taking me out. They must have missed that lecture on the 1/8 rule. And I think that they were trying to play it off as like they were joking when asking that question. But I think this points out a painful reality for them and others alike. your far right-wing advocacy is limited to online spaces where you can be clipped, where you can be tokenized and further weaponized towards the dismantling of the fundamental principles of democracy that disproportionately benefit people who look like us. Specifically in this political climate, like, y'all are not going to be exempt from the brutality and the exclusion that we are about to face here in this country as Black people. Hell, people of any minority group, to be honest. And that's been made very apparent by a lot of these MAGA white supremacists.
In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative. You built your career on a grift that is now dead.
All I can say is count your days and count them checks, because the time when you guys' voices is no longer going to be useful is rapidly approaching, and you're not welcome over here. We've told y'all that. And as always, it is your girl Day. Comment your thoughts down below.
All right, what do y'all think? That was good. She was on fire on that one. And I don't think I've ever seen, you know what was funny? The Hodge twins, you know, white mama. So, you know, of course, you know, the white mama teaches all that racist shit. And I tell everybody when I was in Kansas, this is how light-skinned people are. I said I treated them the same way I treated white folks. I said they the same. I never differentiate. Like,
especially when they got a white mama.
Oh yeah, speaking to them at work and stuff, I was hi, bye, and went straight to my desk. We don't need to have no conversation. We don't need to have a negotiation about anything, nothing. Because let me tell you, every time something went wrong with some Black people there, the light-skinned people was infiltrating the groups and talking bad about people to the white managers and other people. And that was it. It was like they wanted to be white so bad. They wanted to tame white skin so bad. Even there was one co-worker, she was like, oh, she said that Black guy is hot, but I don't want to date him. I need somebody lighter so my kids can come out lighter. It was like shit like that is what I would see and deal with in Kansas and Missouri, and I'm pretty sure it's still happening now. So
yeah, it's definitely happening, and being, you know, on a lot of side, and like because I've literally, you know, had men, like, especially when I was younger, like now I kind of would be like, you know, and I still even felt the way, but you know, that would like me, like my skin tone was like a plus or what have you. And it's like, you know, I have, you know, my father is very dark skinned, and so maybe that's probably why I do prefer. I don't even fuck with light skinned niggas like that because they be on some bullshit. But you know, that's something that, you know, white people perpetuated within, you know, during slavery within, you know, the Black community by separating us, you know, dark in the field, light in the house. And it spills over. And this goes back to the conversation we had about the biracials. It's like when you have there's a distinct difference with a white mother than it is when you have a Black mother. Because typically the onus is, when it comes to culture and passing down tradition and history and stuff like that, it typically comes from the mother. So if you're a white woman, you're going to pass down your racist ass bullshit, versus a Black woman is going to pass down, like you're going to have a more connection to your Blackness if you have a Black mother versus when you have a white mother, because the white mother wants the Black dick, but she's not prepared for the fact that that baby is gonna come out not being white. Like it's like they forget that part. It's just like when women go get fucking, you know, BBLs and shit. No shade to the women, but then these men go have sex. It's like that doesn't transform DNA, nigga. That don't change the molecules. The baby is still coming out whatever the fuck she looked like before. Like y'all, it doesn't. That's not how it works. And so for them to think that because they're and this is the part that killed me. If you're gonna have that type of feeling, at least be a white looking biracial. Don't be out here looking like a fucking nigga and saying some shit like that. Because trust and believe, when you go to that all white town, you ain't coming the fuck back.
All right.
You're not coming back. So it's like, you know, and then what they said, oh, if if the country becomes majority non-white, bitch, it already is. It's just white people are still in power. They're the minority numerically. They're the
Yeah.
minority. They've been the minority. But power-wise, they are the majority. Like,
Yeah.
that's where people be getting it fucked up. They're not that's why they're doing what they're doing, because they realize they are no longer the majority numerically. That's why they pulling all this bullshit. Because if they were the majority numerically, it wouldn't be no reason to do all this, because you'd have the control both ways, not just one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take.
I feel like this was really like a fuck around and find out moment, because all of these Trump supporters, they just love to be like, they think they above people, like especially the black Trump supporters. They think that they're above the rest of us. And this just showed them straight up, you still a nigga, and you gonna always be a nigga in their eyes, no matter what the fuck you mix with. You're a nigga. Period. They don't give a damn about you just because you voted for them, just because you think like them, just because you want the same things that they want. That does not matter to them. You're still a nigga. Period.
And you know what? And I'm going to read some of the comments from this one. Sorry. I think it's when the fall comes, my allergies start acting up. So I apologize, y'all. Pedro Gonzalez, artist. See, I could read that one because it makes sense and he was spelling correctly. He sounds like he was held back in high school. King of Princes, Prince, oh, I don't know what that is. White people told the Hodge twins they are not welcome here either. Not your mom's history. It's the Uncle Ruckus twins. Roderick Johnson, it's called self-hate. They'll never get the invite to the annual Confederate picnic. Well, that was a good one. All right, so we are going to move on to this one. As you know, people have been talking about the Black communities and stuff. So
Black people start a functioning Black community, like we would leave you to it.
I swear it's like you guys are allergic to books. Seneca Village in New York, 1857, they displaced an entire community, but we'll go. 9 years later, you get the New Orleans massacre, roughly 200 people massacred. That's why they're calling it that, in case you get confused. Didn't help themselves, so 7 years later, they run it back in Colfax, Louisiana, for an additional 150 lives. We couldn't even get to the 1900s without an additional one and a coup, so that is the Wilmington coup and massacre, cost you an additional 60 lives. Bringing it into the 1900s, we have the Atlanta race massacre, costing an additional 25 lives. Right before, I believe, 4 years prior to the 1910 Slocum massacre, that was anywhere between 7 and 100 lives lost, but there was suppression on the record. Ooh, wonder why. Can't make sure we give out the correct information on the evil we done did. In 1917, we have an additional massacre called the East St. Louis Massacre that cost about 200 lives, which was only 2 years before the Elaine Massacre in Arkansas. That was an additional, I believe it was 150 lives. It ranged between 137 and 250. That was my mistake. In 20th, the Ocoee Massacre, it's an additional 50 lives lost for whatever cause you're fighting to defend here. 1923, the Rosewood Massacre. You want to talk about the flooding of Cahuenga in 1926? We can do Oscarville, aka Lake Lanier, 1956. Another time we flooded an entire community that still had humans in it. And in 1985, look what the government did to Philadelphia. Type in Philadelphia Move, BOM. Okay. Say all that to say that these people don't live in the same reality as us. We are now at the point where we are trying to convey, convince, conversate with people who don't live in the same reality.
Black people start.
So what do y'all think of this? Because, you know, everybody always has something to say about, and I want to tell a quick story too regarding this after I hear your comments, but my grandma, mostly my great grandma, she don't like white folks at all. Before she passed away, she can't stand them. She said,
Wow.
And it was because of the horrors that she seen that they done. And I'm gonna tell y'all the stories that because she would always tell us stories, but it was the horrors that she seen that they had done. And she said they just got away with it. And it was not just getting away with it; they would erase the entire that Black family's legacy. So. What do y'all think of this? Because, you know, I like what's name's content. I think it's Drinkable Brian. Yeah, you know, because he, you know, white folks think that we don't really care about you having all white towns. I know I don't.
They're pressed because we're unimpressed. But we don't care about that. It's to the point where you have to manufacture Black outrage about something because we really and truly don't care. And then when they say, "Oh, well, when you all build black communities, it's okay." With what they're trying to say, especially now, they mean the fucking projects. They're not talking about black towns like Black Wall Street. When they say, "Oh, when you have all black neighborhoods," you mean you're trying to say the fucking projects, and that's not even all black. That's not all black, because the equivalent of the projects for y'all is the fucking trailer park. That's the fucking that's the fucking that is y'all projects.
I don't
That's
agree
the
with that
only
one.
fucking.
I think the trailer park is a step down from the hood.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's their version of like poverty. You know what I'm saying? Like
And see, I'm gonna have to step in on that because I'm from Jersey, but being in the South now, never mind. Because I guess trailer parks are different today than what the hillbilly trailer parks were.
Yes, but I like today it's different because it's literally like they have some that's actual like communities and they like look, so they have those because we have them here in Miami. But I'm talking about the old school. You know how it used to look. Like that's their version of it. And we don't care about you having an all white town because sundown towns still fucking exist. So you already have all white towns. Y'all already have all white communities that you don't allow black people to
Nikki?
not upset about that. Why are we gonna be upset about y'all building some shit in the middle of fucking nowhere? Ain't niggas ain't going there no fucking way. It ain't like you building some shit in the city. It's not like you building some shit in LA or a metropolitan city and you trying to keep us out of it. And even if you did, we don't want, oh, will we dying to go get some fucking seasonless food?
Oh,
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to go see what that unseasoned chicken that Caroline cooking on. I can't wait to go eat them goddamn frog legs with just, a side of fucking mayo.
or
Like don't
vinegar.
nobody like nobody gives a fuck. They're mad because we're not mad. Imagine faking outrage to create it. They can't keep us out their mind. They can't keep we on their mind all the time. We in their mouth all the time. We do not care. My whole thing, like I said last week, when is it gonna be finished so you motherfuckers can go? I want you gone. I want you there, and I want you to stay there. Stay in your all-white community. Because if you're in your all-white community, guess what? You're no longer greater than. You're now made yourself equal to. So you can't rest on the we're better than you because now you amongst your own people. Imagine having a community that's full of CEOs, but employees can't come. You're no longer a fucking CEO because you're now amongst all these other regular. You've made yourself regular because if your employees can't come, you're not the fucking boss. So by you eliminating black people and people of color, what do you can't say, oh, we're better than you. You can't say that now because now you equal amongst your own fucking people. If you taking us out the equation, please take us out the equation. Get the fuck out and fast. That's mine.
Now, I will say, I think they still do need black people in the town. They just want you out of there when at nighttime.
So a bigger sun. So they building instead of a sundown town, they building like a whole a sundown state, a sundown compound. Like, oh, you want niggas to come work, but it's like what they trying to build their own version of a plantation and they calling it an
Yeah.
all white community and then slowly but surely they gonna try to like integrate. So you know what? That's a good idea, Samson. That's how you can use the fucking biracials. That's how you can use the fucking coon ass biracials. Invite them to the community. Go ahead on. Come on down, Negroes. And that black side is gonna do the fucking work for us. That's a good idea. Have your all white community, invite the fucking biracials that don't want to acknowledge their black side or their person of color side and use them for the fucking labor. Cause they just happy to be there any fucking way. You ain't even got to pay them. Just the privilege of being in your white ass company is all the money they need. That's all the currency they need. Go ahead and do it like that.
And I'm gonna tell y'all a story. This is what my great grandma. So every Saturday we would sit in front of, we'll sit in the living room and we will all sit there and we will talk. And she will always tell us stories of old. That's what she says. She like saying stuff like that, stories of old, of yesteryear or whatever. And and then on Sundays we would watch church, because she did more of the church at home. That's when we had like the televangelist. And she was telling us this one story of this white man that was, that was pretty much molesting his sons and daughters. This is way back in the day. And one day, the 11-year-old, I think she was around 11 years old, she started bleeding. But nobody could find her at first. They couldn't find her for quite some time, but she was bleeding and everything. And the mother came out and she was like, when she finally found her, she's like, well, what happened to you? What's wrong? And she said, Papa did this. Papa did this to me. And she says, you're lying. You're lying. And so what she did, she didn't get the answer that she wanted from the girl. She drags the little girl outside. She has her go to the field where all the black men, the sharecroppers, still out there working. Who did this to you? And she kept saying, Papa. She said it's in front of everybody. Papa did. She said, you better. And so she got so upset at her, she started shaking her and whooping her. And so finally, the little girl getting beat, almost getting half beat to death, she ended up pointing to the sharecropper. And the one guy that she pointed to was the most reputable guy in the entire town. I mean, he did everybody's, like pretty much their fields. He also taught other people how to do their fields. He's even walked some of the kids to school. This man's never had a problem. Now, what's funny is that, the maids, or I'll say the help, since everybody kind of know that Octavia Spencer and stuff, the help and stuff, they already knew that it was the father that did this. The wife knows that the father does this. And even the doctor, the police, and everybody knows that he's doing this as well. But she wanted, because she couldn't, you forgetting back in those days, and because we asked, well, why could she not say it was him? Well, back in those days, I mean, he's a powerful man, for one. He owns multiple fields and he owns some factories. So he owns multiple fields and factories. And then not only did he own that, but he was friends with the mayor. He was friends with the governor. So he's helped other people get their business started up. So nobody wants to go against him. So even though people knew that he was the one doing it, because that was the talk of the town anyways, they still blamed the black guy. So so right after that, he then arrived at home back for like an hour or two. And then he got back home and she come out screaming, oh my God, he raped her. Oh my, saying that he touched her. And everybody said, bro, you better get going. And so the guy that was accused, one of the best in the entire town, he had to run away. She said, by the time she said first 20 people showed up, then she says 100 people show up. She said that crowd ballooned to almost 2,000 people, white people. And the guys that was on the horses and everything, the black, the Irish dudes, they was like, hey, it's best for all the men to go home, and including the boys. And they all had to leave because they know how white crowds get. And it was 2,000 people out there, and they yeah, bring that nigger. Yeah. And so my grandma was like we should tell the story. Her story was just so, you wanted it to be a fairy tale, but you like this really happened.
It's happening now. It's still happening. It's still happening now.
Yeah,
that's what these white women and this white men do. That's why they're trying to, in DC, well, starting with DC, they're trying to lower the age of consent with these the young boys as adults, because if they can do that, then they can lower the age of consent when it comes to girls. That's what they're trying to do. If you can try a 14-year-old boy as an adult, then you can marry a 14-year-old. That's what they're trying to use one thing to be able to do something else. They're trying to use that as a means, I feel, to if we can lower it, because they already see black people as adults. They never see us as they never see black boys as black boys. They're always automatically men. Just like black girls are automatically we're sexualized, from a very early age. And I hate when that spews into the black community, because it does, especially calling black girls fast and we can't wear certain things. And I've had to do that with my daughter, not obviously not calling her fast, but she's very innocent, and she's tall and she's thin and she likes to wear certain things. And I'm like, I like the outfit. But as a mother, I have to think about the men who either don't know your age or don't care about your age. And I don't want you walking out there wearing, and again, it shouldn't be that way. A girl should be able to wear whatever she wants, but that's not the society we live in. And she'll be like, well, mommy, this is a nice outfit. And I'm like, I like it. But unless you're going to be with me, or you're in a group and you're in a safe space, I don't want you wearing certain things like that, because men either don't care, they don't know your age, or they'll know your age and don't care about your age, because she's in her 20s, but she doesn't look like, she still looks like a teenager, like in high school. Like she still looks 16. So it's just like, these, going back to that, these white men have always been evil in that way. They have always been the ones that are projecting the perversiveness. They want to blame it on homosexuality or transgender people, but it's really them that be out here touching on their children. And even the way they want young women, especially white women, to be groomed, it's like an adolescent. You know, no hair down there, very, very skinny, very, very youthful. Like, you never want them to like grow past a certain age. All of that is tied in to their fucking pedophilia.
Let me show you this. Let me show you this video real quick.
Okay,
we're going to
let's
continue the
Samson go, because
conversation.
he got something.
Okay, now
we're going to continue for 1 second.
To be fair, in the South, that was a part of Southern tradition too.
First.
Yes.
And how old was that child when you married her?
Her daughter?
Oh yeah, I saw this
The
one.
child when you married her.
Her daughter.
Yes.
Her daughter was 15.
And how old were you?
I was in my mid-30s.
Lies.
And then after you married that child at age 15, then you married her mother.
I can see you like I can see you like stigmatizing them by saying child.
Well, sir, I had 5 children. A 14 and 15-year-old. You married your second wife, Linda, when she was 14. You married your third wife, Shirley, when she was 15, according to your answer. You married your 5th wife, Leanne, when she was 14. You married your 6th wife, Carrie, when she was 15. And you married Hannah, wife number 7, when she was 14. Where's Hannah? That's you. You're 19 now.
Yes.
You have 1 child.
Yes.
And where's Carrie?
Okay.
And you're 21 now, and you have 2 children.
I'm 20 and I have 2 children.
And Leanne?
Okay.
You're 22. You have 3 children. You were 14 when you got married. Is that right?
We're going to talk about my definition of my relationship or the laws. If you want to talk about the laws, I don't have a marriage license with any of these ladies. So in essence, they're all mistresses. Am I the only man in America to have a mistress or more than one?
All right.
Are there laws against that?
Mr. Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me some other things about you, sir. Tell me what you do for a living.
I sell magazines.
Okay. You're an independent contractor?
Yes.
Did you file tax returns last year?
Yes.
How much did you earn?
That's personal.
No, it's not. You're under oath. I asked a question. How much did you earn when you filed your tax returns last year, sir?
I refuse to discuss my personal finances.
So what do y'all think of this? We're continuing the conversation. Samson, I think you were saying something when he was talking, but this man and some of the people there just look recessive. They just look kind of weird. I was like, for y'all to allow, he's 14, 15, and he had no remorse. Nothing. This is fine. And the stories my great-grandma used to tell me about this, they could just tell you, go in the barn and pull your skirt up and do whatever to you. And there's nothing you can do. And I think that's in a lot of their DNA.
Well, yes. And what got me with that particular clip when I saw it is how he's like, oh, I see you like to stigmatize by calling them children. That's what the fuck they are. Like, they're not an adult. And just because even when you're 18, you may be legal in terms of the law, but you are not legal in terms of life. You are not, it's like that, because if you're doing 18, if you can't wait for them to turn 18, that means the only thing that's stopping you from doing something to them as a child and younger is the thought of you going to jail. If you have to like, oh, I can't wait till she turn 18, that means you've been wanting to do it long before then. You just afraid of going to fucking jail. And so you need it to be legal in that sense. And you see how these I guess he's a Mormon, since they got all them wives and sister wives and shit, but on food stamps and welfare. But y'all don't want to talk about that. It's always the black people that's ghetto, and black women are the welfare queens, and we all that. But you got these motherfuckers, 20 children, all this stuff on food stamps. He wanted to whoop that woman ass for saying how many food stamps she get. He wanted to, I trust and believe he whooped her ass when she got home
Who?
because he didn't want that information disclosed.
The
They
20
don't
year
want it
old?
to be the one who said I get $400 a month for food stamps. He didn't want that to be said because they are the majority of people on food stamps, but they don't want that disclosed because it's better when the media and the narrative that black people are on food stamps. Because as you can see, if you go to that Facebook that post that's popular with our podcast, that's all you're gonna see. I'm fat, I'm black, I'm on food stamps. I might be fat, I might be black, but a bitch ain't been on government assistance for fucking 2 decades. I
Mm.
wish
That's
I
right.
could get the motherfuckers, but I cannot. So when y'all come up here with that narrative, and it's like you're marrying children, you're fucking children. And that's how it needs to be said. That's how we need to keep saying it to them over and over again. You're fucking children because that's what it is.
But
You're
see, that's the
14.
thing. That's why they're trying to change the law. So technically they wouldn't be fucking on children. They will be fucking on consenting adults. That's why they're trying to change that law. They, like Sampson said, that's been the thing in the South. That's been the thing all over. One of the, I don't even know if I told this in my history lesson, but the reason why there are age restrictions for marriage is because a white man married a 9-year-old.
Yeah,
A
we
damn
talked
near
about that. Yeah.
we talked about that already. So it's like these people just nasty and they have this nasty fixation. And if we really want to get into it, they fixation is not only on kids, they like each other too. That's why they're obsessed with the black man.
Mm-hmm.
They like they really obsessed with men and children.
Yeah.
It's sickening. And these white women just sitting there in that video you just showed looking stupid as fuck because y'all just sitting there and don't even know how dumb y'all is. Yeah, I married him when I was 14. I'm 19 with 2 kids. Bitch, do you look around and see how many bitches this man got around you? You think that's okay? You think that's you like y'all not smart enough to differentiate that shit ain't right?
Society has always been like that. It's nothing new. It's regulated a little bit differently for different reasons, but that's been going on since the beginning of time.
So how do we stop that? Because the shit is not right for them to be marrying kids like that. And now they're trying to make it like they keep pushing and trying to find different ways to make it legal for them to do this shit. Because they're not going to just stop with the white kids because they do it to black kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because as soon as they can make it legal to do it to all, because again, they're trying to get us back to pre-civil rights. They're trying to get us back to Jim Crow. They're trying to get us back to slavery. That is the end game here. They want the huh?
I said I agree.
Yes, that's the ultimate goal. So if they can get it legal for to do it to white people, and it's gonna automatically gonna assume that they can just do it to us because they've always felt
I'm
that
gonna
way.
go
Again,
ahead and say this now. I have small kids. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. Any of you grown motherfuckers think that you're gonna look at my kids any type of motherfucking way, or you gonna try my kids any motherfucking way. I got a couple of them that I'm gonna put a hot one in your ass. You and whoever else want to come behind you, because that shit is disgusting. That shit is insane. That shit is fucking like y'all like. They and I don't know if y'all remember a few years ago they were trying to make it seem like it was a mental thing for the pedophiles.
Yeah,
it's nothing
that.
mentally wrong with you. You're just fucking nasty and you're a fucking pervert. That shit is not normal. That shit is not natural for you to want a fucking kid. What can a kid do for you besides be a yes man for you? That's all they can because they too young to even. That's why all them girls that was up there. Yeah, I just thought about it. I'm sitting there judging them like, do you not know? They don't know. This man started grooming them as a fucking kid, so you really don't know better. You don't know that little relationship you got going on is not right because this man has been grooming you. And then the sad part is, they parents be giving them the fuck up. How did you know these 14-year-olds? How did they parents make it all say, oh, it's okay for you to take my kid and fuck on her and marry her and put babies in her with your grown ass? Like who? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting heated.
Listen, white women.
And I'm gonna play something else for you real quick. So I'm gonna play this for y'all. See what y'all think of this as well. Why is this thing? Hold on. There we go.
I can't hear it. Or is it just me?
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
It's not playing?
No,
So what?
press the thing down there so we can is it muted?
No, it's on.
Yeah. Now we can hear it now, but you took it off. Hit it again. No, go back up because we heard it once you
No,
hit it.
Unmute it and then restart it. Yep, it's unmute now. Now restart it.
no, we'll play it. We'll go off this. But what this video was basically saying, he was reading off the profile. This black man said that a girl that's 18 and you're a grown man, you should not be attracted to her. That's still a child. And so the white guy, what he was pretty much saying is that, the age is, going all the way down to 16 years of age. And it's my legal right as a white man to be able to have sex with them if that's what the age is. And so she showed a map that, a lot of all red states were in 16 years old, 17 years old. And some, now they're trying to get it down to 14. And so he's upset that, this is what they were talking about.
If you're a grown man, a girl turning 18 shouldn't. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just again, the white man is tied into the patriarchy. That's why they want youth, they want children, and that's why white women are always out here trying to look younger. They always, I think black women, not saying that black women don't go through that stage too, but we're more growing into our age, like we accept it, and because black don't crack, unless you smoke it, but we grow into our age, and we don't feel that pressure. Like, it's pressure, but not like how it is with white women. White women will start fucking their body up and augmenting here and there like right away. Bitches be 20 on some fucking Botox and fillers because they need to be, they're obsessed with looking young in order to keep a white man. Versus black women don't really do that. I'm not saying we don't put ourselves up so we can look good for black men. I'm not saying that, but I don't think it's to that degree. BBLs aside, I don't think it's to the degree that like white women do it. Like, white women will just go under the knife, don't even need it. Same thing. And again, not saying it's only white women, but you understand what I'm trying to say in terms of they're always trying to be younger. Even the mothers, I think that's why they don't parent, because they're too busy trying to be their friend. They're too busy trying to be their kids equal and not the parent. Because to be the parent, you would have to concede to being older. You would have to concede to not being the young person you used to be by being a parent. Like, when you see these white parents, like the mothers, like, I'll take an example. Like, if you ever seen Mean Girls, the mom in there, how she just tries to act so young and so hip and shit because she's equating, she's vicariously living through her teenager to be like young and youthful and shit. Because that's to them, they have to do that to keep a white man's attention. They have to be young. They have to be thin. They have to be looking fucking besant to keep the white man's attention. I know Samson is agreeing with me because he got his face twisted up.
Okay, now I do agree with that part about the white women's psychology around youth. Whereas on the other hand, I think all of us know some girls in high school who was trying to look a little bit older so they could get a man's, and they had men coming to pick them up from high school.
Oh, well, yeah,
so I think
yes, I wasn't discounting that. Yes, no, that I agree with that. And me being a person who was in that situation, but I understand like how I got there. That's a story for another day. But essentially, like,
tell it now. How did you get there?
When you're bullied, like in my household, and it wasn't my parents, it was my grandmother. And I love my grandmother because the things that y'all love about me come from her. But she was my first and serious bully with my weight. It was always, and she was a grade A narcissist. And I didn't obviously know that at the time, but she was. And she terrorized me with food. She was a nurse. So to be a nurse back in the day, we weren't poor, we weren't rich, but we were considered like middle class within like the hood. We were middle class.
Yeah.
We didn't want for nothing really. I didn't really know we were like poor or whatever until like I got older and I got to see like, how shit really works and how parents struggle. But for the most part, I never went without. This woman would go to Publix and buy everything, fruits, snacks, well, you name it, we had it. But every time I went to eat something, you're so fat. You're not gonna be able to fit your clothes. You're not gonna be able to do this. So every day. So then it got to the point where I wouldn't even eat. And then it was time to go to grocery shopping. She would be like, "You're not eating. So you're mad at me when I eat, and you're mad at me when I don't." So imagine being a child having to go through this every single day. Then once I got to middle school, what happens in middle school? Puberty in boys. So we went
Mm-hmm.
from you're not going to fit your school clothes to no boy is going to want you, no man is going to marry you because boys don't like fat girls.
Exactly.
So
So
she went
it's the
through
flip side.
she went so in my mind I went down a spiral. I'm very intelligent, I'm very self-aware, but I went down a spiral for a long time of dealing with guys because I felt like, okay, maybe an older person is what's, and I've always been attracted to older men. I still am, but I see where that came from. And it's like once I did lose the weight. I lost the weight on a fluke. I got chicken pox for the second time going into my sophomore year in high school. So freshman year, I was fat. I came back fucking size 3. So I went from a 16 to a size 3 in like 3 months. And so when I lost that weight, when I lost that 50 pounds, my grandmother treated me like a person. She saw me.
Mm.
And then I got a boyfriend. And then I saw how people treated me differently. And my mother would be like, "You still walk like you fat." Because in my mind, I was. I didn't like being skinny. I honestly didn't. Now, do I need to lose some weight now for health? Yes, and I'm in the process. But I don't want to be skinny anymore. But that led me down a spiral of when I didn't want to deal with men, I would self-sabotage. I would lose some weight and then gain it back. Because I would feel like, or I would feel like if I got a man, I would have to keep him sexually, or I would have to keep him by any means, because if I didn't, she won. Or if I lost weight, I would feel like she won. Because if I'm fat and happy, but if I need to lose weight for my health. So when I started taking Zepbound, I went through this battle with myself because I'm like, if I lose weight, she wins. And I had to come to terms at 40 years old with my body and
Mm-hmm.
what being promiscuous can do to you when somebody is damaging your self-esteem, when somebody is telling you every day you're fat and nobody's gonna want you. So when somebody does pay attention to you and they're older, that's where you're going. Oh, this person is treating me like a person. This person is twice my age, but they treating me like a person. Not seeing that they're not treating me like a person. They're using me for my body. But you don't see that because you just see that at home, I'm not getting treated like a human being. But this person here, this man, is treating me like one. And that's why you have the girls waiting outside the school for a grown ass man to pick them up, because that's the only one in that moment that's treating them like a fucking human being. Even though they're grooming them and they can't see it, that's what it is. They can't see that they're being groomed. They just see finally somebody is talking to me like a person. Somebody is seeing me and they don't see my fat. They don't see my weight.
That's some of them, because it's some of them girls know them boys don't got nothing but a bus pass and a box of lunch,
And
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 they
and,
want them a
and,
man.
yes, and it's true too. It can go
And I'm
a
gonna
lot of
speak
ways.
on what Samson just said because I had a similar situation with Nikki, but I was also what Samson just said. So me and my mom didn't have a real good relationship growing up. And even like my family, they just gave me weird nicknames. Like I was the linebacker. I was always fat. Like, yeah, my mother used to tell me I was the son she always wanted. Like all
Wow.
type of
Your
weird
own
shit because I
family.
was a tomboy and I was like, I don't know. My mother even for years thought I was gay, but I was, yeah. But that's beside the point. Oh yeah, I don't know. Like my mother, we just had a fucked up relationship growing up, and I found out now. Like those are, well, y'all know I just went to California, met my biological father for the first time at 32 years old, all that stuff. So now I know why my mother didn't, care for me like that, because my father broke her heart. Great, all that. But back in the day when I was in high school, I had a complex of being fat. I used to think I was fat and I wasn't even really fat, but it was because of the nicknames that my family gave me. It was how they treated me compared to how they treated my sisters and my smaller cousins and stuff like that. So when I got a little attention from a boy, I ain't give a fuck what he did. You think I'm cute? Let me give you some ass. Oh, you think I'm fine? Let me give you some ass. Like that's literally what it was. Like I was one of those girls where I had an older guy. He wasn't that much older. I was 17. He was 19, or I was 16. He was 19 or something like that, coming to pick me up from school. But that's literally how I want to say Black girls fall into those type of situations, because we are bullied at home, and our parents don't feel like they're bullying us. They feel like, oh, we're raising you because the world is going to be cruel to you, so we might as well be cruel first, or at least that's what I chucked it up to.
That is a part of it.
That's the part of it that they feel like if they and that's what I had to learn. And I was like, when I have a child, I'm not going to do that. And I found myself falling into that trap of tough love, and I caught myself because my daughter, I was like, I thought, I'm like, I know I'm not a perfect parent, but I started to see that it was affecting my daughter, and I went to therapy, and I'm still there because I refuse to be that parent that my child is going to grow up and not talk to me. Like once she leaves the house, she's not. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And I got the help that I needed. I needed to dissect why I felt this. Why was I making these decisions with men? Because professionally, I made good choices. Friendship, I made good choices. But when it came to these men, why am I choosing either men that I know are going to be jealous of me or men that I know are narcissistic? Like, why am I falling into this trap? And that was why. It was my childhood. It was being told that, you know, a man is not going to love you because of your weight. So it's like when you find one and one gets your attention, you don't give a fuck if he's a piece of shit. You're going to try and work with it because you don't want to be alone. And I am so glad that I am now in the phase where I am away from that. I am no longer in the middle.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I shouldn't have cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm no longer in like the male gaze. And it is so freeing to be like, this is who I am. I like who I am. I love my body. Are there some things that I want to work on for me? Yeah, but I'm going to do that in my own fucking time.
Right.
If it used to be if I ate something, I would know, like at a restaurant, you go to a restaurant supposed to eat. But when I'm at home and I eat something, I would. Why are you eating that? Were you really hungry? Did you need it? You know you need to lose weight. It was like her voice.
Yeah.
And I just stopped. I stopped doing that. And I would be like, you know what? If I want to eat something, I'm gonna eat it. If I feel like okay, it's too much, then I'll stop. But I'm at a place where like I really and truly love who I am, and you can't say anything to me. So that's why calling me fat and shit. When I hear all this stuff online, you can't shake me. You can't say a motherfucking thing to me. I'll beat you to the fucking fat joke. Get to the punchline the way that I get to a plate quickly, nigga. I will beat you. I will beat you to the fucking punchline. Every fat joke you could tell, bitch, I could tell it better.
And Nikki will find a man who's gonna feed her the biscuit these days. Okay.
This is what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't complain. This is what I'm saying. When you call me fat, I'll be that. But guess what? Half of you niggas talking shit, you can feel your stomach in your back because you fucking hungry. I'm over here having seconds. I don't know that life. Okay? I'm a big bitch. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that now. And there's plenty of niggas out here that'll lift my motherfucking fupa. Because they know what's underneath it. That's a knick-knack after dark conversation, but y'all know what it is.
You said the pot of treasure under there, huh?
I want to say
we gotta go see Knick-Knack After Dark.
I got, listen, Lucky Charms pussy, nigga. Follow the fucking rainbow. Go ahead, Maya. What you was gonna say?
I developed the complex kind of different. My complex was if my family don't love me, nobody else will love me. So that's something that I'm still working on, because even now as a married woman, and I have in-laws, like some of them other bitches, yeah. But I have some of them that really like love me. And in my head, I'm like, y'all don't love me. Like the minute I'm not with this man, y'all, like I have trust issues when it comes to people who say they care for me because of how it was growing up. So mine is a little bit different now. I have got my confidence back because they can't tell me shit. You call me fat all you want to, bitch. I be fat. And what's the next joke? Because I'd have heard all the fat jokes. I'd have heard it from my family. I'd have heard it at school. I'd have heard it from the same niggas that tried to slide in my DMs later after they'd have called me fat younger. So it's like the fat jokes, like you said, it don't get me, but I do have a different type of complex, I guess I can say. Like or maybe it's an imposter syndrome. Maybe people say it is. It's like I've developed that. Like I don't belong where I am because who gonna love me if my own mama don't? You know? So, and that's something that some people go through too.
I think that gives you a more realistic view of the world, though, because if your own parents can show up like that, then it helps you to go into the world kind of with your claws out, because you do need to have your claws out in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why people tell me like you just don't trust nobody. You don't believe shit, because I don't believe shit nobody say. You got to show me. Like even when we first started this podcast with Vision, when he said, "Hey Maya, I want to have you on my podcast," I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," but shit, whatever. That nigga ain't gonna call me. Like, that's literally how I operate. I just like I believe when I see it, because yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you decided to stay and be on here. You know, we got a good team.
We do. We got two. I was about to do a fat joke. Never mind.
Listen, you can tell. You hear me when I be on the show. I say it, and that's sort of like it takes the power away from it, because you can't say nothing to me. I've been bullied as a child, not physically, but it was verbally going to school. But what I knew is that I was always smarter. I always had the wit. Even though they couldn't understand it, I always had, I'm a student of Pryor and Murphy and Bernie Mac and Red Fox, all of it. Like I have all of that wit, and you niggas can't understand it, but it serves me well today. When people be like, "Oh, how can you read so well? How do you do?" This is why I grew up with this. I'm tough. You can't say nothing to me. I'm a 44-year-old black woman. You think calling me fat gonna make some shit shake over here? No, nigga.
Okay.
I look in the mirror every day. I was fat when I went to bed. I'm fat when I woke up. I'm gonna be fat when I go to bed again tonight. Like, what the fuck you want me to do?
Amen.
I can't lose fit. No. This is my body. I'm the body I'm in it. And I'm at the age where you either gonna love me or leave me the fuck alone. And really and truly, I would prefer you to leave me the fuck alone. I'm in the dick and dash stage of my life. Okay? Y'all give me some ass and I'll send you on your fucking way. I don't, that's all you can do for me right now. So I'm not here. I'm not in the male gaze anymore. I don't, not to say I don't want male attention, but I got indecent proposals in my DMs. I got marriage proposals in my DMs. Okay, a bitch is thriving. Don't let the fucking weight fool you. Okay, like you can't, But that's where it started. But I turned it. I got my power back once I understood why I was making those decisions. I was able to stop once I realized what the source of my problem was, and it was my grandmother, and it was her narcissism. I was able to take my power back and be like, okay, now I understand why I was making these choices. So now I'm not going to make these choices anymore. I'm not going to get myself in relationships and situationships with men that I feel I got to do all the work. I got to do all the heavy lifting to keep them around, because I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to look for love. I was looking for the love that I didn't get from her through other people. And I don't have to do that anymore, because the love that I have for myself, the love that I get from my friends, the people that are closest to me, that's what I needed. And that's what I was looking for her. And it bothers me that my parents never stopped her. Like, they never had a problem with my weight. They never said anything. But they never told her, at least not in where I could hear it, hey, this is my kid. Knock it the fuck off.
What do you think they were scared of her too?
Probably because my mother and I, we live with my grandma, and then eventually, like, we moved in with my dad. Now, my dad was always in my life. It was one of them happy dysfunctional things. I first lived with my parents until I was 5. We were together. Stuff happened, and then my mother and I lived with my grandmother, but my parents were still together, and that was it, because she was this strong presence too. So it could have been a part of that. It was, and then my mother had contention with my grandmother also, because she didn't raise her. My great grandmother, my mother's paternal grandmother raised her, while my grandmother ended up raising her sister, which is my aunt, and how my aunt. And that's all I know her as. It's not biological. I found that out later, but she's still, my family. That doesn't change that. But there was contention with that as well. Like, you raised her. And so I think my mom felt like, okay, I'm older now and I'm around you, so I'm going to try to have the best relationship with you how I can. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I want to try to enjoy being around you as much as I can, but I still have this contention that you chose to raise somebody else, but you didn't come and get me. So it was all of these different factors that you grow up in a black household. So I always say I grew up in a happy, dysfunctional family because it wasn't like worse compared. Because I know other people's homes was fucked up. So my home was fucked up, but not to the degree that other people were. So you kind of like, it's that thing. Well, it ain't that bad. It's bad, but it ain't that bad type of shit. And that's why I'm such an advocate for mental health because we need to do it. It's what you need to do. And obviously talking to a black person, I think that's another thing that we don't talk to it because we ain't gonna tell a white person our business. That's another thing culturally. With psychology, you don't want to tell a white person your business. So I made it a point to find a black doctor because we don't want to, we already feel uncomfortable telling our business, but doubly uncomfortable telling it to a white person. Because you still feel like even though they're not supposed to use it against you, we all know.
We all know they do. I actually had a conversation with one of my white coworkers who because we had like a mom talking how we overwhelmed and shit like that, and she was like, yeah, I just went to my doctor and I told my doctor that my kids were really getting on my nerves, I'm overly annoyed by them, I'm this, I'm that. Like she named like a lot of the things that I was feeling, and then she was like, yeah, her doctor put her on medication that keeps her calm so it keeps her from being too agitated and things like that. And I'm like, you lucky. She was like, why? And I was like, we can't do that. Like, I can never go to a doctor and tell them my kids getting on my nerves or I'm overly, overwhelmed by my kids. Because what they're going to do is they're going to come take my damn kids. They're not going to give me no medicine to calm me down. They're going to deem me unfit as a fucking parent and they're going to take my fucking kids. Like, we don't have the same privileges when it comes to, that's a whole nother conversation because we don't have the same privileges as white people when we go to the doctor, period, unless you have a doctor that truly like that looks like you. Like now today, I have a black primary care, I have a black therapist, I have a black, my dentist is like, she's like Indian or something like that, but the staff is black.
That counts.
Like, now today I have that, but all along I didn't have that. I had literally went through a situation where my back was hurting for 6 months to a year, and all my white doctor kept telling me was that I was fat and needed to lose weight. Whole time I had kidney disease.
Whole time,
Lord.
I grew up diabetic. I had juvenile diabetes that went undiagnosed until I was 36 years old and had to go to the hospital because I was almost in a diabetic coma. And I didn't know that I was diabetic because through childhood, my Jewish physician, you're fat. Mom, dad, she's fat. That's what he would say. It would be to the point where I didn't even want to go to the doctor as a child. If I was sick, I would tell my mom, can you just give me medicine? I don't want to go because I'm already being told I'm fat at home. I don't want to go out in public to a doctor. I don't want you to pay money to have a white man tell me I'm fucking fat. And had he done his job, and I didn't know like the dark places I have on my neck and my arms, I forget what it's called, but that's one of the tall tale signs. And I used to scrub my skin raw because I was trying to think like, why is my neck so dark? Or people are, oh, you don't wash your neck. And, being in Miami, sometimes I would be a kid and wear turtlenecks because I didn't want to hear the comments. And I would be scrubbing my skin raw, trying to like figure out like, why is my body not all the same, color? And I don't know color is shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I light skinned? But I have all these dark areas. And it was because of the diabetes. And I was 36 years old. And I started having these symptoms and I just wasn't feeling good and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And I told the doctor, I went to the doctor, it's a white woman, and it's like, oh, we can't see you today. I'm like, she's going to see me today.
Yeah.
I left work, I went over there. They's like, ma'am, your sugar is so high, the machine can't read it.
Damn.
You have to go to the hospital right now or you're at risk for being in a coma if you wait any longer. I had to literally pack up my daughter because I didn't have anybody and take her with me. And I'll never forget it because it was the night Trump won the first fucking time. Imagine waking up and this nigga is president.
God.
So this is what I'm saying. They don't take our health seriously. Because I've been to the doctor and nobody said, hey, you might have diabetes. It was just you're fat and you need to lose weight. They don't care when it's black women. So when they be like, oh, fat phobia isn't real, it is real. Because especially when it comes to black women, because y'all think when we say we in pain, that, oh, we have a high tolerance for pain. So if we say we in pain, then it must not really be, it might not be serious. And this is how black women die. This is how black men die.
Which makes no fucking sense, because if we have a high tolerance for pain and we're telling you we are in fucking pain, don't you think we in pain if we saying that shit if we got a high tolerance?
Exactly. That's what it is. That woman, but you can see what she's saying. Like, if I got a high tolerance for pain and I'm telling you I'm hurting, nigga, this must be way past what you think the tolerance is for me to say that I'm hurting. And they don't take us seriously because we're black. So when people say, oh, why you make everything about race? Because it fucking is.
It really is.
It's not us being delusional. It's not us being victims. It's not us trying to be the center of attention. It literally is about race. And guess what? We didn't make it that way. White people made it that way. And white people don't like when we say it because we telling them what white people don't like to be told what they do wrong. They just want to do shit and do it. So you set the stage for all of this. And now when we say it, oh, this is victimhood. This is that. Y'all made it about race when you brought us over here to build a fucking country for free, to make us slaves, to think you're better than us. Everything is about race because it is. Do we want it to be that way? No. But that's how it is, and that's the reality.
Do you really? Why do you think it's about race and not class?
It's about class too. But
I don't think it's about class.
I think it has more to do with class than race.
I think it started with race. It's always been race. And I think now it is starting to drift down to class. But it has always started with I think it's both. If you think about it, it's both.
The reason I disagree is because I definitely feel like it's a race thing, because no matter what the situation is in America or in the world's eyes, even if you are a poor white person, you are still held in a higher standard than a rich black person.
Exactly, that's it. Because if you ask a redneck, I'm talking about 3-tooth hillbilly hick redneck ass motherfucker, would you rather stay how you are or be a rich black man? They would still stay white, because even though they're poor, they know they got more rights in this world than a rich black man would ever have. So it does start with race. And
because
I think
a black person, no matter how rich they are, they still nervous when they get pulled over by the police. A white person, no matter how poor they are, they still know they're going to go home that night.
Exactly. And on top of that, I think now it's starting to be a class issue, because white people who are not rich are starting to be affected. Latino people,
I think they always have been affected, but I think that now we are starting to get a clearer idea about that. And that's why we're getting to see it's more about class. I do understand the race part, but ultimately when we talk about politically and economically, that is class.
Well, yes, that part is when it comes to class, because I would agree with that, with how we do with politics, because shit is ran by the rich, but the poor people, no matter what your color, ethnicity, race, whatever it is, we're the ones that are always deeply impacted, no matter what, by these two parties. Despite whatever, we're always the ones impacted. So I agree with you and Mike. It starts with race, but now I think we know it's class, but we're really starting to see it in living color, because the white people are starting to see the effects of classism within whiteness. I don't think they knew it, but it wasn't in their face. It wasn't being broadcast to them directly, like, listen, we don't give a fuck. We're rich and white. We don't care if you're poor and white. We're rich and white. It was never put in their face. We as black people have always seen it, but they're seeing it. So I think classism is coming live and direct to them for the first time, where they are seeing it. Oh, this, because when we always go back to that joke, Mario, you treated me like a black person. So they know what it is.
Well, I know we got to get to our favorite part of the show. I will vote for Donald Trump.
Oh, Lord. Oh, the Latinos they hate this motherfucking show.
Oh, it got quiet. Hold on.
We can't hear it, Chris.
I can't hear it.
We can't hear it.
It should have been on. Can you hear this one? Let me see if this is working.
Like the thing when you click on it, we see the microphone is on.
Did you hear that one?
Yeah, now we hear that.
Oh yeah, I
one.
can hear it now.
I'm surprised you can hear this one because it's on.
No, go back and turn it up. Like the
some
thing
some
is
some of them don't work.
Oh, okay.
It's already up. Some of them don't work. It does that sometimes with Instagram.
It's like your cursor is moving it. Like when you touch it, it goes up, but then your cursor is moving it down, which that's when it goes back to silent.
Okay.
So touch your cursor, touch the thing, and then move it up.
Well, it's already
and
up.
then keep it up. Keep it up. Don't touch it. Keep now move. See, when you move it, it goes back down.
Well, it's supposed to.
Oh.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that. But we'll move on from that one right there. We was gonna get them this time, but I guess we don't have nothing to play.
Well, next time, I don't run out of content.
Opportunities like Tri-County. So if you want fucking faggots who go to Tri-County, just leave me alone. You need to get that word out of your vocabulary. Just leave me alone. You always yell at me. You and fucking me for once. Stop fucking yelling at me. I don't care. That word needs to stop. Just leave me alone. Like actually, just leave me alone. You deal with your own life, not mine. I do deal with my own life. I don't care. Your life because that's.
What do y'all think of that?